Another transfer story I wanted to get your opinion on first, Dan, is I was reading about potentially Chelsea going in for Bowen this summer. Is that a player that you could see leaving the Claret and Brew in the East End for the Blues of the West End in London?
I can't see it at all. I've had this debate with Don, who appears on the Terrace at times, and he's adamant, yeah, it will happen. I can't see it. I mean, I Googled it, and Bowen Chelsea, and what came up were dining tables. So that's all that come up. But yeah, I can't see it at all because, for one, we need to know what their financial.
It does.
Yeah, exactly.
Dining tables come up. Yeah. Yeah, just Googled it.
So they can go and get a load of them. They can get a load of them for their boardrooms, but they might have to sell another hotel if they want to sign Jarrod Bowen. Jarrod Bowen is a quality player, and yeah, I think he could go on and play for a bigger club. But at this time, and he's at this stage, is he going to push for a move to Chelsea, who are in a mess, who may scrape Europe, but they're not going to be in the Champions League? For a club that he's just signed a long-term deal. I think it was 6 to 8 years contract he's just signed at West Ham. He's comfortable, his missus and his father-in-law, they're West Ham through and through. While he'll have ambitions of doing bigger things, yeah, but for Chelsea, I can't see him kicking up a fuss for Chelsea. It's not going to happen. He's not going Chelsea. You can clip this.
I mean, Don would love it because Don is also a West Ham fan as well. You know that, right?
Wasn't he at the parade?
Yeah, he went to your parade. So he's for him, it would just be like it would be a little bit like Chelsea selling their hotel to themselves. It'd be like him selling his own player to himself. Don would love it, but
internal move.
What do you think, Staffy? Do you think Chelsea have got the pull and the money to take a player of the pedigree and age from a London rival this summer?
I don't know about the money, so I'll leave that one because I don't know if they have the money, or I don't know what their budget is going next season. I don't know if they're in breach of FFP rules, so I'm gonna leave that one away. But the profile of who Bowen is, first of all, please educate me if I'm wrong here, Lawless. Hasn't he played as a striker most of the season?
Yeah, for when Antonio was out, he was playing up front,
and now he's back on the wing again, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so when I look at it, why do you need another right winger? Because I know that's his main position. Why do Chelsea need another right winger? Isn't that where Palmer plays? Don't they have already too many wingers that, I'm not going to lie, most of them are not doing good? They need to figure out who's going to stay and who's not good enough. And they have Nkunku, who's supposed to, let's just assume he's healthy going into next season, and he's going to get one of those front three roles, whether he plays as a striker, as a 10, or I know he plays on the wing as well, so he's going to be somewhere there. And no disrespect, why would Bowen go to Chelsea right now? Like, I'm not trying to disrespect Chelsea, the institution. They've obviously been a great club for years now, winning everything. But I'm talking about this current Chelsea. If I'm Bowen, and how old is he? Isn't he 27, going to 28, something like that? So he's already he's closer to his 30s. This is when you get potentially your biggest or one of your biggest moves in your career. And if you want to start winning something and you're ambitious, you start, okay, let me look at my options. Who is more suitable for me to not just financially give me a good contract, but also who can I win with? If I want to win the Premier League, as an example, or if I want to play in the Champions League, if I'm Bowen right now, I'm assessing all this. I don't look at Chelsea and I think any of these boxes are being ticked by Chelsea. If I want to win the league, okay, I'll wait for City to come in. I'll wait for Liverpool to come in. I'll wait for Arsenal to come in. If I want to play in the Champions League, obviously the same teams. What if he wants to play abroad? What if he goes to Italy? What if he goes to Spain? What if he goes to one of these teams that plays in the Champions League? So no disrespect to Chelsea. Yes, he might want to stay in London and get paid more money and all that. That's fine. But I don't look at the move from West Ham to Chelsea where it's like, wow, what a move for his career. Like he's gonna achieve a lot. No, you're gonna be a part of this cycle where they're still trying to figure out their feet and who they're gonna be in a few years and what tournaments and what leagues they're gonna be able to compete for, and if they're gonna be good enough for Europe or not. It's not the best time to go to Chelsea if you're a 27, 28-year-old. I'm sorry.
Yeah, fully agree.
I do get that, but for me, he's the exact sort of age profile that Chelsea need. They need some experience like him. And I look at Bowen, and I don't mean this rudely about West Ham. I look at just his output. Last 3 seasons, 20 goals this season, 13 the year before, 18 the year before that. In a team that's not overly attacking, I want to see him in a team. I don't know how much better West Ham are going to get. And again, I'm trying to say that with respect. I don't want to be rude to West Ham. I'm just being honest about where West Ham sit in the pyramid of football. And I would like to see Bowen at a bigger club, because it is a different test, I think. But he's got to be careful, because I know they've had a good few weeks, Chelsea, but they haven't had a good couple of years. And he could go there and, just like some of the other older, more experienced players, end up really regretting it. And, he's in and around the England squad. He's probably going to go to the Euros, and that's off the back of being excellent for West Ham. So I do think he's got a decision to make. I understand why Chelsea would be looking at him. I know they've got young Madueke, but Bowen's better, in my opinion. He may not be better at taking a man on. I know you're watching, Don. He may not be better at taking a man on per se, but I think overall as a football player, which is the most important element, he is better and he's experienced. But
he's a better finisher than Jackson as well.
Listen, as you say, 20 goals this year, 13 year, 18 prior to that. He was prolific in the championship as well. And I think in a team that has more of the ball and in a team that attacks more regularly, you could see somebody even more potent. I think Liverpool should be looking at him really as a replacement for Mo Salah, especially if Mo Salah goes. I think Liverpool should be all over. He does want him. Yeah.
Klopp wanted him before. I mean, he's not going to be here.
Be all over it. Listen, I'm a Man United fan. We need to fix our right side. If Bowen signed for Man United, I'd be very happy with that. As a first sort of summer with whoever their new manager is, I'd be happy with Bowen 100%.
But the question remains, because I saw Don in the comments saying he's what we need.
Me and Don agreed on something. I'm so happy.
I saw Don saying he's exactly what we need in terms of like age and profile and experience. I understand that. I know you need it. He would be a good fit for Chelsea, but Chelsea wouldn't be a good fit for him. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't think he needs Chelsea. Chelsea need him more. And this is no disrespect, Don. Listen, me and you are in similar boats right now. Because going into this summer, there's a lot of players that we need, but we're going to have to sit there realistically and say, outside of us being big names, aka you're Chelsea, aka I'm United, outside of our big names, why would some of these players come to us when there's better projects out there? And that's what I'm trying to say. He is going into this age group where he would rather play for a contender. I'm telling you right now, if Arsenal come in for him, he's walking there. He's not walking. He's running there. He's running to the Emirates, because he's gonna be like, you know what? In a year, I can win a league, or I can win a Champions League, because he knows he has a better chance to compete there than in Chelsea. So, and that's the reality, brother. That's all it is. That's really all it is.
Yeah. That's it. Like, he's not. It's not to say that we would never sell him. If we wanted to sell him, if they offered, big money, and we looked at it and was like, yeah, okay. Well, then it's up for him if he decides he wants to go to Chelsea. But if Chelsea come in and we're like, listen, Jarrod, like, we ain't trying to take their money, not offer him what we want. He's not going to sit there and go on protest or push for it. He's a bit like, cool, all right. He's just said he wants to captain West Ham. Like I said, we got him on a long-term deal. So, yeah, Chelsea, like I said, they're going to have to come up with that money. And if they imagine they just sign Bowen, is that what they need? Is just Bowen? They've got all these different positions that they need to look at. So they're going to splash down big money on one player.
And that's what I'm saying. Listen, they need so many more players in that team that I don't understand why you're looking at a winger. I actually don't understand. Like, you're still trying to figure out who's good from your wingers or not. But you know who's not good enough? Your goalkeeper. Your goalkeeper is on a negative, like 7 point something goals prevented this season. You statistically have one of the worst goalkeepers in the league. So you need to go get another goalkeeper. And you need to protect that new goalkeeper. You need a new back line. Not a whole back line, but you need to strengthen that back line. Because you have some aging players that are leaving, like Thiago. And there's you have some players that are not good enough.
And there's a lot of links to Victor Osimhen. And if you guys sign Victor Osimhen, I don't know where else up front you're spending money on, because that is such a big, big deal. Don here says Lawler said the exact same thing about Rice going to Arsenal.
No, to be fair, I said, why would he choose Man City over Arsenal? He's not going to do that, right? I said that. Now, we discussed this with Mo last Wednesday about his comments about why he chose Man City over Arsenal. So listen, he's just said there that Bowen would choose Chelsea over Man United. The only reason that would be is a London factor, and I think that played a part into Rice's decision as well, is the London factor. But apart from that, I don't think so, Raf. I think if any team, forget about geography, if Man United come in and Chelsea come in, I think he, on the balance of it, he chooses Man United. You know, take away geography.
Bro, if Sir Jim calls and what's his name, Bowley calls, he's not answering Bowley, bro. Stop it. You know he's
No,
picking up
listen,
that phone.
I agree that he'd pick Man United over Chelsea, but some of that is to do because of part of that is to do with him and his family. He is with Danny Dyer. He is with Danny Dyer, and obviously Danny Dyer's dad, Danny Dyer. They are decisions like that matter. You know, if there was a footballer at a club where they're married to somebody who's one of their biggest arch rivals is Liverpool, it makes an impact. It makes an impact. So I think Man United would have a chance of getting him. I think there is, look, Chelsea are a massive club. I'm not going to play it down. And there are certain players that they have signed and will sign ahead of us. But I do agree. I think there's something about Bowen, that right-hand side at Man United that's been a poison chalice for many years. I think he's the kind of person that says, I think I can fix that. We haven't had a good, solid right-sided, a solid one since Valencia. We haven't had a brilliant one since Ronaldo. Now, Bowen will never be Ronaldo, but it's been 15 years that we haven't had that area really locked down by someone. But look, Chelsea have always got a chance. Of course, they have. They're Chelsea.
Do you know what the mad thing is? Looking at Man United and Chelsea, I'm thinking this is a West Ham fan because we're looking at the finances of it. Bowen's going to be very expensive. He's English. He's just signed a long-term deal, England international. If we looked at a player plus cash scenario, I'm looking at Chelsea. I'm looking at Man United. I'm not seeing too many options that I would take that both teams would be willing to part with. Yeah, I mean, for Gallagher maybe at Chelsea, Man United. I'm really scratching my head of thinking, who would you willingly let go that we would want?
Well, because it's changed now. Because if Moisey was staying, then we could, you know,
McTominay,
Maguire, we like them, you know. But it all depends on what you're doing. Listen, I think there is a player at Man United, depending on the style of football you're going to play, and it's changed now. So this may not be one for West Ham, but I think there could be a number of teams that are interested in players like AWB in the right setup, where maybe they don't need their right back to be overly attacking. There's a lot of teams where I think he would go in and do well. And look, you've only got to look at Man United players from the best ones to the worst ones. Just look how well Darmian has done since he left. You know, most of our players look better.
That post-United glow up. That post-United glow up. No one wants to listen to it. It rattles people, but there's a post-United glow up.
So yeah, I think that in the cold, hard light of day of football, I don't necessarily think internally within the game. I don't think people I don't think they quite look at it how we all do. Does that make sense? I think, and we know that because if managers and scouts looked at things how we did, both Real Madrid and in the end Arsenal, who signed him, would not have been looking at Kai Havertz in the summer. They both did, and we all thought that was crazy, but they both did it. There are certain players that seem to get picked, and we all like, how has that happened? It doesn't always make it right, but managers see things we don't. And I think they should know more than we do about picking teams, to be fair, because that is their job. I don't think he is what us Arsenal fans need. Great show. See, I actually, again, maybe it's the age profile, but Arsenal certainly need a Bowen or an Elise or a Xavi Simons. They need someone who is genuinely, in my opinion, going to push Bukayo Saka. I think they need someone who could oust him if they're playing well. I think he needs that. You look at the left-hand side. This year, Martinelli hasn't quite been up to scratch, but you've had Trossard who's come in. Imagine you didn't sign Trossard and you had a Nelson-level player for the left. You wouldn't be where you are right now. So you need someone who has the ability to put Saka on the bench. And I know that there's a lot of Arsenal fans that don't like saying that out loud, but it isn't a bad thing. I think you should be looking at players like they should.
Yeah, but Bowen is not putting Saka on the bench, Terry. Let's be honest. He's there to start. He's not going to a team. His next team, he's not being benched.
No, I agree. So I think that's why I don't think it'll be Arsenal that he goes to, because he'll want to go to a team where he's to a degree guaranteed to start. And Chelsea or Man United, Bowen starts for 110%.
Salah leaves, he's going there. I promise you this right now. If Salah leaves in the summer, Bowen is going to be your first signing.
North London Forever here says, great show. Even though he hates my team, I want to thank Lawless for a great entertainment and being a good sport. North London Forever. That's from Steve.
Thanks, Steve. Listen, there's a lot of Arsenal fans I do like, but fair play, respect to you, and wish more Arsenal fans will sound like you, Steve.